Hello, everybody. How are you doing? It's Sunday night. That means it's time for us all to come together, commiserate, dry our tears, complain about our team, and talk about firing the coach here on FMTV. So we're going to do all those things tonight, of course. But as you know, I do not do this alone. So let's welcome in our friend, our buddy, our pal, everybody's favorite uncle, Uncle Ed. How you doing, Ed?
I'm doing good, Peter Brown. Excited because we're back, but not too excited because of the results. And I want to remind people you could also watch this live on Twitter right now, and I think on your Facebook.
Yeah, it's on my Facebook page as well. Yeah, we're putting it in as many places as we can simultaneously. So yeah, if you're on Twitter, just go and retweet it. It should pop up. There it is. I see it, and I'm gonna give.
I already retweeted it.
I'm gonna give myself a retweet. There we go.
There you go.
All right, everybody.
I see ourselves. We're on there right now. If you guys can see it, there you go. That's us right there.
Yeah. Technology, crazy. You gotta love it. So it's good. Of course, we always love for you guys to join us on YouTube because that's where we can have the great conversation going back and forth. I think this app that I'm using, I think it'll pick up the commentary from Facebook, but we can't do it through our Facebook group page, the Football Miami TV page, unless I pay for an upgrade. So we'll consider doing that. But anyways, everybody, how you doing? Say hi in the chat room if you haven't done so already. For me, the chat for me, the first person I see in the chat is Chris Arjun. So if there's anybody before, I don't see that until
I'll mention them.
But you'll mention them when we get to that
in a few minutes.
Yeah. So everybody starts saying hello in the chat. We're gonna, of course, I say of course, it's gonna stop soon, but we are going to give away a Caneswear gift card today. We're gonna do it a little bit different today. I have an idea. So
that's where we get all our stuff. Everything
we do get all of our stuff at Caneswear, and let's bring up that graphic right here. You can get the hat that I'm wearing right there. You can get the T-shirt that I'm wearing at Caneswear. You can get probably everything Ed's wearing at Caneswear as well. And Caneswear is good friends of the show. And just look, you're supporting a local business, and that's always good to do these days. They're located in Davie, off of University Boulevard, just south of 595. If that's too far for you, no problem. Go to caneswear.com. Any orders over $99 will ship for free, and use FMTV 10 to save 10% on your orders. And just mentioning the fact that you saw it on Caneswear shows them that their advertising dollars is working. So go there. And look, I was at the game today. Yesterday, and looking at some of the gear I love. Even though I buy all my stuff at Caneswear, I still look at what's for sale. And here's what I do, Ed. I go into the stores at the stadium, and then I go hit up Caneswear and say, hey, do you guys have this? Do you have this? Do you have that? Because I want to buy it from them. But I get the ideas sometimes by seeing them at the stadium. But the stadium, the prices are going to be more expensive. So there's that.
They are.
All right, Ed,
today, Peter.
Go ahead.
Let's. I was going to mention some of the stuff that we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about the World Cup draw.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about how terrible Inter Miami is. What else? Anything soccer, anything that you guys want to talk about, we'll talk about, even if it's geeky stuff. Peter Brown's a big Disney
I could
geek.
go there.
So, we'll go wherever you guys say. But first, let's say hello to a lot of people, Peter. We got a lot of people showing up now. Everybody, I think, wants to complain about how terrible our team is. We're in last place.
Again.
The very
still
worst team in Major League Soccer right now. But we love our pink team.
Yep.
All right. Let's start with B. King. He was the first one on here. You didn't get to see him.
He chatted twice, so I got his second chat.
There you go. We got Jazz Fusion.
All right.
Who said Pepto-Abysmal is the thing that he wrote in.
That's good.
Yeah.
I might have to
Esteban Dito.
But hang on, we may need to steal that for a show title or something if he doesn't mind.
Pepto-Abysmal.
Yeah, I like that. I like that.
Jazz Fusion. Esteban Dito.
Nice.
I mentioned before. Our good friend from Atlanta, a new Wiseman, who also listens in and watches us. Jose Velasquez is also with us. Everybody's favorite Eric Thomas in the
Nice.
house. The best photographer out there, Chris Arjun.
All right, now's where I can see everybody.
There you go.
Yeah, that's the only negative about using this application that streams it to many locations is I don't actually see any of the chats until the show goes live.
Before.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
So you guys know. Judge Dredd the Law is also with us. And we got Pablo Coppola. Happy Sunday, everyone. Our good friend One World, One Goal is also listening to us. We got okay, hear me out.
Yeah, well, hang on, but one world, one goal. I do like what she wrote. We might steal her name there for a show title as well. Stink in Pink, Stink in the Pink. I think that's kind of funny.
Ooh.
She's saying that I went a little graphic with our graphics. So,
Yeah. I thought it was funny.
How many people?
I'm sure.
I wonder how many people got the reference of Off with His Head. I mean, where that's from. I mean, I almost put in a little cartoon character in the image, but I thought, I don't know how many people would get it. I didn't know how many people would get it, so Anyways, here's okay.
Well, if you guys have any idea, put it in the chat room. See if you guys get it. Who else do we have? Sergio is also with us.
We do look good in pink. I would agree. That is a
like
smart-looking kid.
Nabil Janina.
I love that you're saying these names and not me.
I'm the one that gets to mess them up. And that's it. Everybody else that I see, they just repeating their messages. But guys, don't forget to, leave a message in the chat room so that you can be eligible for our giveaway. Even though Peter says he's going to do something different.
Wow, nothing major
for the giveaway.
Okay, hear me out. Got it. Alice in Wonderland. Exactly. Being a Disney geek, that was the first thing I started thinking. Because, look, I started thinking. We could go in a lot of different directions, Ed, starting off, because we had a lot of talk, chats, and stuff during the game. But I started thinking of, not always, but I did this week. I started thinking of kind of show titles before we played the game. I was so confident that we were not going to win, unfortunately.
I think you're borderline psychic or something. You said we were going to lose, and you even predicted who was going to score the goals.
Oh,
Peter.
yeah, that was the one image I forgot to pull up. I wanted to pull up a picture of Fafa in all his strikers' glory in the past, because I don't.
Did you? I think they even said he was going to score twice. I don't remember.
Look. So once the game did start, I was watching Fafa, and I remember watching Fafa Pikal play a lot for the Fort Lauderdale Strikers, and so I'm very familiar with him as a player. And I was watching him play, and he had the speed. He looked like he was. I had this feeling. I'm like, he's going to score tonight. He was getting behind the defense. He was putting pressure on us, and I just had that kind of feeling. He's going to score against us. And a couple of our friends wore Fort Lauderdale Striker kits just to honor him, I guess, even though he's now playing for the opposing team. But
right.
But
yeah, I thought that was pretty funny that you were so positive we were going to lose since the beginning. That we were messing with you, but let's start talking about the game, man. The first half was it's a tale of two halves, right? We started off strong. I thought we had a lot of chances, and we just couldn't score the goals, man. And it just seemed like we couldn't point direct at the goal. Lassiter, he's got speed, man, but he can't shoot for anything. That's one of the things that we need. We need somebody that's going to be able to score And in those moments in the first half, at least, I thought, man, I wish we would have had Campana in there, because at least, you know, he scored a goal already. He's a little more confident, and maybe he would have been able to score with one of those opportunities that we had. Robinson, I think, was played a pretty decent game.
Yeah.
He had his flashes. You know, we were talking about, you know, how you think he's made out of crystal because he's always getting hurt. You know, and who else were we talking about that had to get? Noah had another good game, I think, coming out from the back. You know, the first half at least I think we were good. We went to get another beer. We did our breakfast, our what's it called, breakfast, our bathroom break or whatever, and the game started. You know, and they scored on it, so we didn't even get to see that goal. Thank goodness. I didn't want to see it anyway, but it was, you know, disappointing because we thought that the first half we were in there. We had a chance. We had a chance, Peter Brown.
Yeah, we had a chance,
right?
and you know, here showing this picture here, says it all. And I agree with what OK Hear Me Out is saying here, that Robbie seemed frustrated in the second half, and I think this image here of Robbie Robinson says it all. You know, I think I agree with you. Robbie had a pretty good game. He looked dangerous. You know, he likes taking on people. He obviously needs to do better finishing. Ariel Lassiter can't finish for nothing. He is another guy that gets into great spaces and stuff like that, but you know, he needs to work on his finishing. Both guys need to work on his finishing. But you and I both were watching, and we were thinking that you know, that Robbie has he has something,
Potential.
right? He has potential, right? He has something there that you know, to work with, you know.
But yeah, unfortunately, he wasn't able to make any goals, which is a problem that we have. Higuain was playing, I think, as a striker in the first half. He barely touched the ball. He didn't touch the ball very much. You know, he's supposed to be, I think, our creative player, our number 10. Also, he's got the number 10 going. But Peter, I don't know. He didn't touch the ball very much. Didn't get any of those passes going.
You sent me a stat that he touched the ball less than any other field player.
Yep, he was a player that touched the ball less than anybody else on the field.
Wow.
So that tells you something about our playmaker.
That's our designated player. Forget about playmaker. He's our designated player. He's the guy we spent the most money on, right? And the only way he's padding his stats is by penalty kicks, right? So, I mean,
right. Well, thank goodness he scores them, but
yeah,
but you know, it's so frustrating.
Yeah, Sergio's saying Higuain needs to sit the next one out, but Neville doesn't seem to be brave enough to do that. You know, he hasn't done it. So, yeah, I think the team looked at times better, but it also felt like a very long first half. We even commented on it as we were watching. It felt like a very long first half, even though the first half was obviously better than the second half. But it's just the same old, same old. We're doing the same show every week now, same old, same old. And now, you know, the fans are definitely, you know, voicing. All you see on social media is sack Neville, fire Neville. Everybody is booing him, or you know, the team at the end of the game goes to say their thank yous to the supporters. The few supporters that were still left, because everybody else had bailed out in the last few minutes of the game, heavily booed the team as they were trying to, you know, give their.
It seemed that way.
They
seemed that way.
Yeah, and they did. You know, everybody was commenting, so we weren't sure when we were there live, but everybody else seemed to have, you know, got it. So going.
I did see Noah did go up to some of the supporters, and he gave his shirt away. So
he got a scarf in return.
And that's why I was thinking he did. He got a Legion scarf. So
yeah.
I want to find out who got that jersey.
Right.
Who got the jersey?
Eric Thomas says he's not sure Neville wants that smoke from Higuain, especially given Higuain's bad temper and moodiness. So, all right. So we're gonna get. We also want to make sure you guys know to leave your voicemails. So we've got 4 voicemails so far. If you guys want to, if we're not paying attention to your chat, if we've missed your chat, give us a call. I will definitely play all the phone calls. Sometimes I do miss chats because we end up going on tangents and stuff like that. But so call 786-474-4435. So this is what I was battling with, Ed. And I'm going to ask everybody in the chat, is it okay at this point to almost, I can't say fully happy, but almost happy that we lost? And let me explain. Because the more we lose, the faster we lose, the quicker the ownership group is going to have to make a change. The quicker we will see some action, whether it be players, coaches, what have you, they will be forced to make a change. They can't go 0-10, for example, and still have Neville as the coach. So in the next few games, aren't going to be any easier. We're playing. I'm trying to pull up the schedule, but I have it more or less memorized. But we're playing New England next, and New England is in a slump right now. Well, New England's in a slump right now. They're near the bottom of the table, but they were also focused heavily on Champions League, and we know that they're a quality team. They got a great coach in Bruce Arena. So if we take a quick look at the upcoming games here. So we've got New England, then we're headed to Seattle. The fact that New England's in a slump, there's a chance, but they're going to come out of that slump, and that's probably next weekend. So let's be honest. We are that team that other teams circle on their schedule, going, "That's a W." We are that team.
We got this one.
We got them.
Yeah, they're like, those are three easy points right there.
Right. So then they're playing Seattle. Then Atlanta's coming to town. That's a tough game. That's another 1 p.m. game. That stinks. And then we finish off April back against New England, but this time in New England. It doesn't get any easier really until we play Charlotte, which is not a guaranteed win either, but it's better chance than April. April is going to be. Oops, I clicked something. April is going to be a tough month. So,
wow.
I think, we're looking at losing at least 3 out of those 4 games. We might get a 1 victory just out of luck, or a draw out of luck. But we definitely have the possibility of losing all 4 of those games. So back to my point. Is it okay to be happy that they lose only because I want them to make a change? And the quicker they lose, the quicker they will make the change. Is that okay? Because it goes against my natural way of thinking. I always want my teams to win. But I'm getting to that point where I just want to see a change. Am I crazy?
I don't think that's a bad thing. No, I don't think it's a bad thing. It makes a lot of sense. It's still the beginning of the season. We get a new coach in. He's going to have some time to, they talk about chemistry, but I think the team should have had chemistry by now. Which I don't know how many games they're going to give Phil Neville to for them to get their chemistry going. But he's running out of time, I think. And the fans, everybody's talking about it on social media. Everybody's concerned. Everybody's talking bad about us. All the other teams, they're like, making fun of poor David Beckham and Jorge Mas, for their team. But these things happen in soccer, man. We go through slumps and bad times, but I've got faith, man, that we're gonna eventually, get a championship or two, and and Messi too.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, hear me out. We can get to that. It says I have the Dolphins mentality there, which is a lot of years everybody says, I remember with the Dolphins for when that quarterback Luck, Oliver Luck or whatever his name was, Luck was coming into NFL. He's already retired, but it was like everybody was like suck for Luck because the Dolphins have been bad for so long. So he's saying that's a Dolphins mentality. Right. Probably is. Esteban says true. Let them lose until there's no doubt it was the only decision to make, regardless if it is Beckham's buddy. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. It forces his hand. At that point, he can say, maybe Phil does his buddy a favor and steps down. Because he does look like he's out of ideas. We talked about that last week. He looks like he's out of ideas. So, Baldwin.
And these are players that he kind of helped pick. So,
exactly.
Exactly. Before, like with Alonso, he didn't pick those players except for, I think, Pizarro. And, I don't think they give him enough chance. And look at Alonso now. He's going with Uruguay to the World Cup.
Yeah, exactly.
What does that tell you, Peter Brown? You pulled the plug a little too early, huh?
Maybe, but I don't know. I don't know. I always thought that Alonso had a communication problem with half the team, maybe not speaking Spanish, but so just because he wins in one league doesn't guarantee that he's going to win in MLS. And if he could he win with Tubby's players, right. That's the other thing. He's got the cream of the crop of Uruguay with the national team. But what it does prove is he is actually a good coach. It does prove that he can coach. Right. So he got the team there, and that's what he needs to do. All right, so real quick, we got to go to voicemails. I see some chats, people asking me to go to voicemail. They want their voicemail to be heard. But I did want to talk about this real quick because you mentioned them. Let me hide this and bring up this image. You mentioned the owners, Ed. Oh. So we got this picture. Yeah. This is from the Miami Herald. So is the picture of Robbie. Miami Herald had some great images. So I want to give them credit.
It's kind of funny because Peter, Julio Caballero, and myself, we sit directly in front of them on the other side, of course. Yeah. So we could see them. Yeah. So I was like, that's got to be Romeo, the guy with the blonde hair, and so we're trying to figure out who's who. Next time we got to bring binoculars, man. But right in front of us. So.
Yeah, they're in front of us, but it's still far away, and we're like, we have to squint a little bit and grab our iPhones and zoom in and go, is that who I think it is? And I wonder. So Romeo's clearly the only Inter Miami 2 player that gets to sit in the owner's box. Does that cause any ribbing or jealousy amongst his teammates in Inter Miami 2? He's the only one that gets to sit there. They're not calling in any of the other guys to sit in the owner's box because they would be there. I think they would be there.
Of course. So they're probably like, Roma, hey, can you get me in, dude? One game, man.
Yeah. And when
heck, I wouldn't mind being there one game.
No, of course. At least we did get the opportunity to go into the owner's box once. Yeah. But there was nobody in there.
And it's recorded. You guys can check that video out.
It's one of our most popular videos. Baldwin is asking if that is Inter Miami 2 coach next to Mas. Yeah, that's who I think it is. That's what it looks like to me.
Yeah. And, but you look at their faces, or their faces of concern.
Esteban saying this is nepotism. It's Miami style, having Romeo there. It is 100%. But if your dad owns the club, wouldn't you do that for your son? So, I'm just saying.
Yeah. But look at Jorge Mas Jr. in the back. He's just like, oh my God, what's wrong with us, man?
Yeah. Beckham, David looks like he's definitely invested in the game. He's looking at it. He looks Romeo looks a little bit like, ooh, and Jorge looks bored. He just looks bored. Yeah. He looks like, this isn't how I planned it.
Man, it's got to be tough, man. You come off, investing in this team, and he's probably, expecting us to win a championship off the blocks, man. But it's got to be tough for both of them. They're spending their money, and and getting these players, and it's just not working out. And let's see. Let's see what somebody has to say, Peter. Let's listen to one of the voicemails.
All right, let's do this.
See what,
and then let's do this.
It's time for your voicemail.
Hello.
All right, here we go.
Hey, Peter, Uncle Ed, Ricky Ricardo, and all the great fans. It's Italia, One World, One Goal. I just wanted to give a special shout out to Franco Panicio and his brother Bruno Panicio, which I probably butchered their name because that's what Peter and I do, and sometimes even Ed does. And that's an Italian name. You would think I could get that right, but they're actually Peruvian Italian. Congrats to Peru. And too bad for Italia and Colombia, but that's not the topic. The topic is, I'm so sad for their loss, but I want you to know that you're in all of our prayers, and we thank you for giving such great detail on Inter Miami. It's been incredible coverage, and you're both such great, fans, as well as giving great reporting from Franco. So God bless, and I made it through a whole message without mentioning Mi Amor. Haha, that was
too late.
Like a little comic relief there. Love you guys, love the show, bye.
Yeah, so Franco Panizo and Bruno's in here a lot of the time. So Franco was at the game, didn't see him, but we did see Bruno, gave him a big hug. Their father passed, and so that's what she's referring to. So, yep, thoughts and prayers their way. So yeah, but but Bruno was there having a good time, so that's good.
So
let's move on.
Well, she didn't really, yeah.
There's not much
really
to say,
much
right? We just thoughts and prayers, and best of thoughts and prayers. I was gonna say best of luck, but you don't say that, so
right.
It's I'm awkward in those things. Next.
Cheers, guys. How are you? This is Abif, calling you from Deerfield Beach, Florida. Guys, I just wanted to kind of vent a little bit. I know that every single week, we always go through the same thing, but, I was kind of super disappointed. As I was going to the stadium, first thing first, of course, the weather, horrible. Got the notification saying the weather was going to be delayed. But I didn't get any notification from Inter Miami, the team itself. I actually had to go through Houston Dynamo's Twitter account to get notifications. Anyways, with that being said, let's talk a little bit about the game. Of course, 15, 20 minutes of high intensity. Let's attack left and right. Robbie Robinson running like crazy. Nono running like crazy down the left wing. But what's missing is that final touch. We are just wasting our time. Higuain is not playing at all. The man is defeated. He doesn't run the ball. He doesn't cover the ball. He doesn't press. He doesn't try to defend. It's like he's waste there in the space. Guy needs to be taken out. And Phil, I believe, excuse my language, doesn't have the balls to bench Higuain.
Agreed.
But this guy needs to be taken out. Of course, we don't have anyone to replace him, right? Because we see that the team is just completely dysfunctional. All we're trying to do is Mota. I like the Brazilian players, but all Mota does, he just fires. She just, outside the area, he just shoots. And I saw like 30 missed shots yesterday, and the few chances that Houston had to hit us, they did. So it's disappointing. Phil needs to go. Higuain needs to be benched. And as season ticket holders, we just have to kind of hold our breath and wait for next season, I think, at this point. That's all we can do. Cheers, guys. Enjoy your day.
Yeah, there a lot of good stuff there. Yeah, the service, I think, they do need to finish obviously better, but sometimes it's also they're not getting the service in that box. So they're having to fire from distance. There was very few shots in the box. I mean, most of them were from outside the box. And Mata, with Mata, I like that he shoots from distance. But it doesn't need to be all the time, because some of those shots probably should have been passes. But I do like a guy that will fire from there. He's not afraid to take that chance, and not afraid to, those can surprise the keeper. He can, create a rebound or something like that. So I do like it, but just not maybe every time he touches the ball, because he did do that a lot. So But yeah, one thing we didn't talk about, Ed, was the weather. We didn't really touch on that, did we?
We haven't touched it yet, and we got wet. That was pretty fun because we were like, oh, let's go hang out with the supporters,
No, you said that.
Well, there you go. Well, we
I
went
followed.
there.
I followed,
convinced you guys.
but you said that.
But we had that crazy, you'd think we're underneath the bleachers and we wouldn't get wet. But we had that crazy, remember Forrest Gump where he was saying the rain, in Vietnam would, come at you sideways or it would, hit you from the bottom up. Well, it was coming in sideways and it was going straight into where we were all at. So we all got wet. Look at that. Peter Brown totally wet.
Here we are. This is the picture I sent to my wife who chose not to go to the game. Now, you can't see the rain that well in that picture, but you could see that I'm bundled up. And
in the background, you can
see it a little bit in the background, yeah. And I sent that to my wife to say, look what you're missing. And she's like, I'm happy I'm not there. Because it got cold, too, man. We got wet. And luckily, I have my rain jacket. You can see all the raindrops all over that jacket. So I was not nearly as wet as you were. But
I was.
So it's like
the only good thing is that I had boots on. My feet were dry, but the rest of me was wet.
Right. And as far as the notifications, I didn't even think about the notifications because we're in the stadium and we're being notified because we're in the stadium. But that's interesting that you would think the app would be notifying you. And if you don't have the app, they should be updating Twitter constantly with that information for sure. So
we didn't. We were looking on Twitter. Yeah, we were looking on Twitter for information. And the team didn't put anything out on anything.
No,
so that's.
And if you want updates in a weather delay situation, that's when you follow guys like Franco Panizzo, Alex
Windley.
Exactly. I couldn't remember her last name. Our friend Austin Ravillard, those kind of people that are in the press box do a pretty good job of updating on Twitter as far as, hey, 30 more minutes here and there. So they do a pretty good job. So that's what I would recommend. It's sad that you have to go that route, but yeah. But it was I think a 2-hour delay. It wasn't 2 hours before we got to go back in, but they have to warm up and everything. By the time they started playing, it's 10 p.m. I think you guys probably. I heard from Julio that he got home around 2 a.m. after dropping you off and everything. So
he dropped me off.
Yeah, driving back down to Miami. So it was a long night. A lot of fun. We still had a lot of fun at the game, but
except for losing.
Yeah.
Again.
Yeah. It's not.
Yeah, I'm just getting used to losing, Peter.
Yeah, exactly. It's something
we become losers.
Right.
Nice rain jacket, Peter. Yeah, you are styling and profiling. I'll tell you that much, Peter.
So apparently,
I gotta get me one of those.
Yeah, Esteban was at the stadium. He said he was wondering if he was going to be lucky to come across us at the stadium and introduce myself. We did actually see one of our regulars that watches and joins us live, Endo, and we got to hang out with Endo quite a bit last night. He was hanging out with us and over by the supporters, and then over on the East End as well, chilling while we were waiting for the weather to let up. So if you guys see us in the stadium, make sure to stop and hang out with us. We enjoy that a lot. So all right,
yeah, we spoke to a lot of people. A lot of people coming up to me saying hello. So that's a lot of fun, man. I love when people come up and say hi to us.
What do you
buy
think?
Me a beer though, guys? Come on.
Oh gosh, man. I'm not asking for anything. All right, I'm not asking for anything. Okay, hear me out. Says Uncle Ed sipping on some strong stuff to stomach this team. B King is right here too. I agree with this. Many people stuck around. Not a bad showing. So I think the tickets sold was something in the neighborhood of 13,000. It didn't. I don't think there was quite 13,000 in the stands, but tickets sold doesn't necessarily mean all those people are going to show up anyways, right? So it looked to me like a pretty good amount of people did stick around. I do know a couple of diehard guys. I'm not going to call them out by name, but they were wearing Strikers outfits that chickened out and went home. And they live over here in my area.
Don't want to mention any names, Chris. and Walsh and Steve. Yeah, wearing those strikers. No, but it was cool that they were wearing. I thought it was really.
I know
really
they
funny.
look cool. I didn't think about it. I could have pulled out one of my strikers shirts, but I didn't think about wearing that to because of Fafa Pikal. But so yeah, I think it was a pretty good I think a good amount of fans stuck around. Everybody bailed in the last 5 minutes. They just said, "Screw this, we're done," and they bailed out at that point. Which actually, to be honest, this was one of the easiest getting out of the stadium situations ever.
Well, yeah, it's something we talked about before when with Julio on the way to the stadium. He has an extra ticket and I have extra ticket. We have them for our wives, and our wives, sometimes they can't go. But I got on the phone. I called a couple of friends up. I'm like, hey, I have an extra ticket, and it's weird, but when the team's winning, people are, yeah, sure, I'll come. Extra ticket, cool. And here we are giving them away,
right.
And nobody wants them.
No takers.
Nobody wants them. Yeah, they're like, oh, the team's losing, or they make up some excuse. There is a lot to do in South Florida, but usually it's not that difficult to find somebody to go to the stadium with me. Even my daughters were like, hey, do you want to go? And they're like, no, I think they got something. Lose. They're losing, right? So
And look, that's
what's up, Peter.
And there's so many people I'm watching on Facebook and Twitter, and so many people are just giving up on the team. They're like, look, I can't follow this garbage. So I've said this before, you can't tell somebody how to be a fan. So everybody handles things differently. I'm not going to be that person. I'm going to go regardless. If we don't win 30 games in a row, I'm still going to show up because I want this team here and I want it to be successful and I want to go and I have fun even when we lose, because I like being in the stadium and I like hanging out with my friends. I like all the stuff. So now, of course, it feels so much better when you win, but I'm gonna be there regardless. But not everybody is, and so we're gonna see the numbers dwindling the longer they keep Phil Neville and Higuain. To be honest, you're gonna just see the numbers.
And we're not scoring.
Exactly.
We're not scoring, so. That penalty was, we yelled it like it was, the end of the world.
Yeah, like Nabil said, nobody likes loser teams. That was the thing too. And we're going to get to, we have 2 more voicemails. We'll get to those in just a minute. Marsman came back. He, I saw the post-game interview with the coach, and he said Marsman had a good game. And now, okay, Marsman did make a few good saves and kept us in the game. I'm not saying he was horrible, but he definitely looked rusty, and he was to blame for the penalty. Now, flip side, their goalkeeper caused a penalty as well. So both goalkeepers caused a penalty, but ours, Nick Marsman made a bad mistake, taking out a player, and cost us. So. I don't think and then also he had a couple of clearances that were very suspect, and he got lucky. They did not end up in the back of the net. He is rusty.
Yeah, and what was the other thing I was going to tell you? Oh, we at the beginning of the game we looked at the lineup. I'm like, Peter, do you know any of these players? And you're like, no, except for Fafa. Right. I have no idea who the rest of the guys are.
Yeah, I mean, and that's because, the league has grown so much, for me at least, that, I can't keep up with all the team's players. I know the big names on each team, probably, but beyond that, I don't necessarily know all. There was a point in time when I was younger and the league was smaller. Man, I knew every player. And but
I was like that too.
Not anymore.
I even knew their stats and everything.
Yeah. So the league is bigger. My memory's gotten worse. And I've got more things to do.
You're old.
So all those things combined means, I know a few players on the other team, and that's about it. Baldwin says Marsman was okay. He was rusty. Agreed. Yeah, I mean, he made some good plays, but man, at times I was just like, oh, come on.
We need a real playmaker. That's another thing that Baldwin put in the chat. We need a real playmaker.
Yeah.
I think it's obvious that the very few times that Higuain touched the ball, it wasn't enough. A playmaker is supposed to get the ball all the time. Mm-hmm. So he wasn't making himself, I guess, available as much. I don't know. He was kind of playing as the the only forward up there. So we need more forwards. If we're not going to put Campana in there as our forward, we need to get some other strikers, somebody that can hopefully put that ball in the back of the net.
Yeah.
And I know for a fact that Campana is hungry because he wants to go to the World Cup, and he's not going to go to the World Cup if he doesn't score goals.
True. He's definitely not playing. He's playing. He's on the outside outside looking in, I guess. Yeah, and even when he does play, he doesn't look great. So to be honest, I would right now with what I saw, I would start Robbie Robinson over him again because Robbie showed promise. And talk about rust. He also has been out for a long time, and so here's a kid I think that has a lot of potential. People like to bag on him, but I think he's got a lot of potential. And just when he starts to get it together, he gets hurt, and then he's out for months, and it happens again and again. So he's just made of glass, like we were talking about earlier, Mr. Glass, like in that M. Night movie. But Jonathan Carranza is asking. How long is it going to take for Miami to get rid of Higuain? We need players who can create chances such as Robbie Robinson and Taylor. How about Taylor?
Good.
Taylor looked pretty good. I like Taylor. He's a nice
really well.
Nice pick so far. How long is it going to take for them to get rid of Higuain? Next year because his contract's over. That's how long. that's
so
it.
We got him for the rest of the year unless they bench him, but. The guy can score when he gets a chance, but he doesn't defend for anything, and he didn't do a great job this past game.
Right. All right. Let's go back to some
pancake.
Yep. Let's go back to some voicemails.
It's time for your voicemail.
Hello.
Hey guys, this is Pablo from Arizona. Peter, I wanted to give you a good shout because you mentioned recently that you think Luchi Gonzalez would be a great fit for head coach, and I completely agree with you. But I just don't see him leaving the national team right now, especially since he just got there. So one name that I want to kind of bring up for head coach, and I want to hear you guys' thoughts. Tab Ramos. He's out of work. He's got experience working, in the league and the region.
Speak Spanish.
Coach for youth national teams. Hung around a little bit as an assistant with the senior team. Kind of want to hear you guys' thoughts because, I don't think this is a very attractive project to coaches among the league, and I really don't see a foreigner coming in and kind of taking on this project as well, especially with all the restrictions that we have, the salary cap. So I just want to hear you guys' thoughts on that. Hope you guys had a good weekend, and have a great week ahead. Cheers, guys.
All right, thanks. Oh, and Pablo, I think it was you that asked for a game day vlog. So we did it. And so I'm going to put that together tonight probably and get that out in the next couple days. So just kind of an experience showing how, my day at the game and with
and
it.
how wet we got.
Yeah, not as much of that. I got a little bit of video of that, but not a ton of video of that. But, so as long as the sound is okay, because the team so far hasn't let me bring in my better microphone, but I'm going to try to sneak it in. So, but yeah, I filmed something. so anyways, as far as Luchi Gonzalez, let me say this. Like Ed, you were saying, money talks. If they want him bad enough, they will pay him and he will come. Look, he's an assistant in the U.S. national team. Yeah, as an assistant, he's going to go to the World Cup, and that's an awesome experience. And yeah, he may not go there as a player, but going there as a coach is still pretty sweet. But I would think most guys in the coaching world would prefer to take a head coaching job. Now, having said all that, I don't think Inter Miami would offer him the position. I threw it out as an interesting idea, a long shot, somebody that would work well with the youngsters, help build out the academy because he did it in Dallas. But I don't think this ownership group would even ever consider him. So
I don't think he's on the radar.
Not
to tell
even
you the truth.
Not even close. to being on the
they
radar.
Probably don't even know who he is.
Yeah.
You know. But Tab Ramos, I'd like him because he wouldn't have a communication problem with the team.
Okay.
But Peter, I heard you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he was a coach of Houston Dynamo recently, and from 2019 to 2021, he was a coach at Houston Dynamo, and they were terrible.
Right. So
that's my concern. But then again, you could be in the same situation where you put a coach in another team and he's successful. For example, we've got Jason Kreis as an assistant. He was very successful with Real Salt Lake, not so much with the other two teams. So sometimes it's the situation. So taking Tab Ramos out of the Houston situation, putting him here,
it's a wild card.
Maybe it works.
Yeah.
But I mean, Houston was bad. So I don't know if that's necessarily an upgrade, but it's an interesting idea. He does know the league.
Yeah, I'd say we'd probably give Jason Kreis a shot before giving anybody else one.
And that's my point. And I was talking to my wife about this today. In that, so if you fire the coach now, you're in one way you're giving up this year, because I don't think any coach is coming in the middle of the season. I mean, I don't know if I've ever seen that. I mean, interim coaches, but I mean, that's it. I don't think you're going out and hiring a coach and he's coming in the middle of the season. So to some extent you're giving up for the year. But I'd say you do that. You have Jason Kreis in your back pocket. He is an experienced MLS coach. You put him in as your interim, and there has been many occasions, or at least maybe a few occasions, where the interim was able to shake things up a little bit and sometimes became the permanent, but turn the season around a little bit. So that's a possibility. But my main reason for putting him in there is I think he could do no worse than currently what we're doing. And then the ownership group can publicly start a coaching search. Because right now they, I guess, could do it, but they've got to do it all hush-hush because, if they do it, it's considered kind of unprofessional and disrespectful to their current coach. But if they fire him, you could publicly do your search, take as much time as you need because you've got Jason Kreis doing an okay job, probably. No worse than Phil Neville. I think that makes sense.
Well, I want to give a shout out to Neil Leonard, or he apparently he's fallen asleep in the chat room.
Are we boring you, Neil? Neil is a little old, so
Well, definitely older than you, Peter. I'll tell you that much. But good to see him in the chat room and listening to and watching our ugly mugs.
Yes, thank you for that.
He could only listen to us on the podcast.
I tease about his age only because he's a good friend. So
and Julio Caballero also.
Yeah, I saw him in there as well.
Shout out to Julio Caballero, one of the main reasons why we have a team in South Florida right now.
So Baldwin agrees. I am not interested in Ramos. He was bad at Houston. No thanks. Eric Thomas asks, as far as this vlog that we're doing, does the vlog end with me crying uncontrollable in the car at the end? No, but maybe the next one that will. So maybe I should do these more often and just try to find different things to show and talk about. Maybe not every game, but more often. Because, the one thing that we're learning with this show is the reason we haven't done a lot of game day stuff. I mean, we did a few post-game where we asked people questions, and we could do that again. I'm just a little more shy, so I need Ed to be with me so he can go bug people.
I'll go find the people.
Or Eric Thomas, because he helped before as well. I just don't like going up to people. Once the ice is broken, I'll shove the microphone in, I'll talk to them. But I just don't like bothering people.
I'll grab them and you talk to them.
I feel like I'm bothering them, so I just don't feel comfortable. And so, but the main reason we haven't done like vlog type things like that is because I always figure those people that are watching our stuff are at the games. But that's not the case. We have a lot of viewers from all around the world. So we definitely should do more of that.
Okay, there's some suggestions from people in the chat room of possible, coaches. So I don't know if you want to pull some of those up because it's.
Well, Jazz Fusion is saying it's about the players. Christ had a great team in Utah. It is about the players, but it's also the coach obviously plays a part in it. We're all talking about Neville getting fired. It's not, they change out all the players basically, and we're in same situation or worse. So I don't know. So who else are we talking about, Ed?
Let's see, Caleb Porter, Esteban Dito is talking to okay, hear me out.
Isn't Caleb Porter working? Isn't he already in the league? I think he is.
I don't know, but that's interesting. Remember the guy that used to coach Miami FC? He wouldn't be a bad.
Yeah, Caleb Porter is back with Columbus Crew. That's what I thought. In 2019, he went back to Columbus Crew. So, who were you saying, Ed? What?
The guy that was the coach of Miami FC. He took him all those championships. No, the newer Miami FC.
Oh, Alahan Nesta? It was Nesta. Right?
No,
okay.
Not him. No, more recently. You interviewed him.
Yeah.
Forgot his name too, didn't you?
He's got a famous dad. He's got a famous dad. His dad's more famous than he is. Yeah, I did interview him. But you said yes, he won a lot of championships, but they were all like NPSL and stuff like that. I mean, I don't think he's ready for a head coaching position in MLS.
Major League Soccer?
No, I think he'd be back. I think he's probably more for an assistant coach role. He also has a Houston background. And God, for the life of me, cannot remember his name. If anybody can help out in the chat, that'd be great. Eric Thomas is saying, as far as Christ, what about Christ in Orlando and New York City? No, yeah, it was terrible. It was terrible situations there. Either he was bad or the situations were bad. I don't know, but he was bad twice, so you start to think it's him. But let me ask you this: can he be any worse than Neville? And if he's just an interim head coach holding the seat warm for the next head coach, he can't do any worse than 1 point out of. I mean, I guess you can technically do worse. You could have 0 points. So
that's true.
All right.
El Presidente. We have any more voicemails, Peter?
We do. Let's go here.
What's up, PB? What's up, Tio?
Oh, listen to that.
What's up to the rest of your listeners? This is your boy, old Yankee Yank, calling from the motherland, a.k.a. Maryland, hollering at y'all. Listen, my local DC United is mediocre at best so far. The results are mediocre at best. So I'm not throwing shade, and I'm seriously not trying to be disrespectful.
It's okay.
Of where y'all find yourselves right now on the table. But realistically, to hear that some of y'all are dreaming of Bielsa coming to be your savior, well, there's nothing wrong with a wish and a prayer.
That's what we do here.
I don't think he would touch that job, even as a project. He's still getting paid by Leeds, as far as I know. And I think the fact that he would have to come into a setup that's so drastically different with the special MLS rules, with having to travel across a large continent fairly regularly, I just don't see that happening. Not trying to burst anybody's bubble. I hope y'all can get it turned around any day you're not playing DC United. But, again, returning to Bielsa, wonderful gentleman, wonderful football mind. Language would be an issue. I know your last coach managed to get you to the playoffs, but there were still language issues. And I just don't see Bielsa wanting to take that project. I know y'all be loving Miami in the 305, but I just don't see it happening. So you guys are going to have to find a coach who's going to be able to adapt to MLS. Yes, you got Henderson, but what you got right now ain't working. So good luck. Hope y'all fix that. Holler at you later, players.
Man, I missed that. I missed that ending.
Yankee.
Holler at you later, players. Yankee Boy, for those that don't know, he was a regular listener and then became part of our old show when we used to do Ultras Alive. It was our podcast before this. We did it for like 6 or 7 years. And he was just a regular listener that we became friendly with, and it became part of the show. And so, great guy, great. He was a big. I'm not going to say he was a big fan of the South Florida teams, but he had a lot of interest in what was going on down here, and is the biggest Puerto Rico fan that's not Puerto Rican, which was always interesting. But up from in Maryland. So, what do you think about that, though, Ed? Bielsa, not a chance in hell, according to Yankee
dude,
Boy.
that'd be tough. I mean, if there's word that he's going to Bolivia, I think that has to do something with Marcelo Claure, because they want to do they want to change the Bolivian national team around because they've been sucking for the longest time. They haven't been in a World Cup in like more than 20 years. So I think that's if that's where he's going, I don't think he's gonna. It's gonna be tough to bring him over here. I mean, David Beckham's gonna have to get on the phone and talk to Bielsa.
Yes.
I don't know if he speaks English. Well, maybe he does because
he coached
been
in
coaching
England, so he might.
Yeah,
he might.
So you never know. But
right.
I mean, I don't know. I just don't see him wanting to come to Inter Miami. Not yet. Maybe if we finally get Messi, he'll be like, all right, I'll go. I think anybody will go, just to coach Messi. I think anybody would come over here.
Sure. Baldwin he got the name right for us. Paul Dalglish. Paul Dalglish was the Miami FC coach. We were trying to remember the name, and yeah, I sat down with him. There's an interview with me and him on the channel. That was a lot of fun. Christopher Walsh is the guy that left early, and yes, Christopher, we did stay till the bitter end.
And we mentioned you earlier,
yes,
by the way.
And this shows that us putting it on Facebook is working because he's watching from Facebook. It shows a little icon, so that's cool. I don't think the Twitter comments. I don't think there's an ability to comment through Twitter. A new Weissman is saying, they could get Frank Lampard. He's about to get sacked out of Everton.
Well, yeah, if you want to, more Beckham friends,
I'll pass.
No?
I'll pass. Looking through the chat real quick. I know we have one more call. Just going through the chat. Look at that. Baldwin used to listen to us on Ultras Live when we talked a lot about USL, so he remembers Yankee Boy.
Yeah, good old Yankee Boy.
Some other guys talking, and lots going on in the chat. All right. Anyways, let's go to this last voicemail for the night.
Hey, it's Italia again. One world, one goal. I thought I would call and leave a funnier message. Ha ha ha. Let me talk about number. Ha ha ha. Just kidding. No, seriously, I just wanted to bring up the stadium vote once again delayed. I'm glad they didn't vote on April Fool's Day because, that would have gone wrong. But it's going to be on the 28th. I think they can really turn this around. I think they should stop saying we're going to get Suarez, Messi, Neymar, and all these names, and let's really promote these academy kids. Okay, love you guys. Love the show. Bye.
So that's something that I was having that exact kind of conversation with our buddy Julio, who's in the chat at the game. Because he all the time, he is the biggest believer, and I think you're right behind him with the Suarez and with the Messi and all that kind of stuff. And so I asked him this. I was like, do you want to be the team that is really kind of MLS 1.0, going after the big, aging, old stars? I mean, I think Messi is the exception, right? I mean, I think that's an exception to the rule. But I mean, he may be old, but I mean, I think you do it. Right, but right. Do you want to be the team that brings in that models their club after MLS 1.0? It doesn't work anymore. Would you rather be the team that works on the academy, brings up quality players? Now we're doing that, but I would rather see more Robbie Robinsons, Ariel Lassiters, the guys that are hungry out there. Maybe they're not 100%. Maybe they're missing their shots, but I'd rather see that hunger than lazy, old, smoking Gonzalo Higuaíns. And so I don't know. I don't want to be MLS 1.0, Ed.
Well, I gotta say goodbye to Jazz Fusion. He said he's gonna leave right now, and look at his comment right there. I think everybody should check that out.
Until next week's defeat. Right? Is that what you're talking
Wow.
about? Yeah.
Yeah, we're positive.
Yeah.
And I like who else? Diego Marino saying, "Who's Messi going to pass the ball to if Messi comes?"
That is a good question. I mean, he's not. He's going to end up being up top, and he's going to end up having to do everything. All right.
He's gonna have to be the team basically.
All right. So Ed, let me say this was my idea for this week's $20 gift card to Caneswear. So what Caneswear really is hoping for with this promotion is new customers. So I want a new customer. So I'm asking you to be honest, right? You know, some no trickery here, but I want the first texter, the first person that is a new customer to Caneswear, somebody who's not a regular shopper there at Caneswear, to send me a text at 786-474-4435. The first one that comes in will be the winner, and I will reply back to you. And then,
there's a number, guys.
There's the number on the screen, 786-474-4435. Chat me, your name and your email. The first one to do it. So if I'll reply back to everybody if you didn't get it. I'll say sorry. Try again next week, whatever. So let's try it that way, because at the end of the day, I need to get your information, right? I need to text you, and we need to do that. And it worked last week, this text situation, so it worked out great. So
do it, guys. There it is. Phone's right there.
And so let's ask. I'm asking for you to be a new customer, or just at least not a regular. And let's, because we're trying to get new business into Caneswear. They're a small company, and we're trying to get them some new business. So let's do that, and you'll get a gift card. All right, Ed.
Yeah.
I think we did good work today. I think it was a lot of fun. And do you have any parting thoughts on our way out?
Well, Peter Brown, is to cross our fingers, and rub that, rabbit, what is it, foot or whatever that they do, or whatever luck you guys can use to get us a win. Do it, guys. Something we need to, give all your positive energy to Coach Neville, so that we can get some goals and some wins, and you could put a lineup that's going to make a difference. Because so far we haven't been able to do anything good. So we need some goals. And we need 3 points. We need to, dig ourselves out of that hole we're in, because we're dead last, Peter. We only have 1 point. Dead last. Oh, and you know what we forgot to do? Talk about the U.S. national team.
Oh, yeah. We can
Let's do it real quick.
Let's do it real quick. All right. Oh, and by the way, we got a winner.
All right.
So Chris.
And who is it?
Chris, and I'm not going to try to say your last name.
Well, good for you, Chris.
I just texted you back. So Chris won. First one to chat in, I said. So you got it.
Nice. So let's talk about the U.S. national team. We forgot to do that.
We got so busy with everything else. So let's get rid of the rain, and let's bring up this image here. World Cup draw was what happened. We'll do this in a few minutes. So Ed, what do you think about the group that the USA found themselves in?
Well, USA, I think they've got a chance, man. We got to wait to see who the European playoff team is, but it's probably going to be between Ukraine, Scotland, and Wales. I think either one of those teams are, they're manageable. We have a chance to beat them. So whoever comes there, I don't think it's going to be a problem. England might be the most difficult of the teams. Iran is kind of like, an unknown for us. The USA has to, pay attention to the videos, because we don't know very much about them, but I think we have a chance of at least coming in second place and advancing. I'm crossing my fingers, Peter.
Yeah, I think this is the best group, or I mean, not the best. I'm just saying it's a friendly group for the U.S. This is a good situation for the U.S. I mean, they can at least, I think, should be expected to finish at least second in this group. Of course, anything can happen. I mean, we could easily lose to Iran, and we can easily lose to Wales or Scotland or whoever that comes in. But it's as good a situation as it could be.
Exactly, and the thing I'm most excited about is that we have young players. I think we're the second youngest team that's going to the World Cup. I think Ecuador is number one. They're younger, but barely. So we got a lot of hungry players. They want to make a splash in the international scene. They want to go to bigger European clubs or wherever, and it's time for them to prove themselves and take this USA far, man. I remember what was the project? What was it? The project that they used to have, saying that the U.S. was going to win a World Cup.
Wasn't it like 2020?
20, yeah, something like that. We're beyond it now.
Exactly.
We kind of regressed because we didn't go to the last World Cup. So now we've got all these young players. Now's our chance to change that back, and hopefully we can do it by 2050.
Yeah. Tracker is saying. Peter is a Brazil fan and Ed is an Ecuador fan. They'll have a good World Cup experience. Let's bring that image back up and talk about some of these other groups. Where is your group, Ed?
Group A.
Group
Qatar,
A. There you go.
As a matter of fact, they're going to play Qatar. That's going to be the first game of the World Cup. Ecuador, Qatar. That's I think a manageable team. I mean, a group for Ecuador. If they win against Qatar and maybe tie against Senegal or the Netherlands,
they're going to lose. Hang on. Wait. They're going to lose to Netherlands.
The Netherlands.
So it's just yeah. I mean, somebody was mentioning. Tracker was mentioning I'm a fan of Brazil, but I also like the Netherlands because that's why I spell my name funny, right? Because my background is Dutch, so I do like those boys in orange as well, but. Pablo was saying it's Project 2010. No, it couldn't have been. It couldn't have been 2010. Couldn't have been. Could it? Well, maybe it was.
That was some project they had. They were thinking about winning the World Cup, and I think it was 2010.
Oh, maybe it was. Holy cow.
We're totally off, man.
We're a little bit off. All right,
but we've got a chance.
And then Brazil has got in Group G, Serbia, Switzerland, and Cameroon. So they would be expected to finish first in the group, but
that's I don't see a group of death.
No, here. I don't either. Not really.
Maybe Group E, whoever comes, whoever the playoff team is.
Spain, Germany. That's
it's intercontinental. Yeah, those two teams are probably going to be the ones that come out of that group. Look at Group F, for example, Canada. They did pretty well in the CONCACAF eliminations, and they came in first. Belgium's going to be tough. Morocco, Croatia, they got a chance of advancing as well. And where's the other guys? Where's Mexico at?
Group C. That's going to be a tough group. I mean, they've got Argentina. Poland can be good at times. I remember them playing well against us in a World Cup, some World Cups back. Saudi Arabia, that should be a win. But
Tsikowski's happy because Poland's in there, and his favorite player in the world, Lewandowski's finally going to the World Cup. So
you would think Mexico finishes second in this group, but it's not a guarantee. But
no.
Oops, clicking on the wrong
be tough.
thing. So I think it's going to be a fun World Cup, and we're gonna. For the first time ever, have a World Cup in the winter, at least ever, as far as I know. That'll be a lot of fun. We'll definitely be talking a lot about that, in November. So Tracker, he got here late? Did y'all talk about the Chris Rock Will Smith incident? No, we did not. We actually stayed on topic. We were prepared to go off topic because it's like how many times can we talk about the same thing over and over again? I was prepared to talk about Moon Knight. You got that's the new Marvel show. Could have talked about that.
Star Wars,
all kinds of stuff we could have talked about. But we did stay on topic, so I think we did good work today. So it was a lot of fun. So we'll get more into the World Cup draws and as we get closer and everything like that. Start talking about predictions. because I don't know if it's going to get any better for Inter Miami anytime soon. So we may have to throw in some other topics like this World Cup stuff. So, Ed, I think that probably wraps it up. Anything else? Did we miss anything else, Ed?
No, I think we're good. Guys, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Check out that video that Peter Brown made. It's coming up. I'm going to try to do some Spanish videos. I started doing one last week, and I didn't finish it. So I'm going to try to do those as well. And, it's kind of tough when you have a job, you work too much sometimes.
Sure.
So, but
that's why I'm going to.
But we try to do the best we can.
When I do those kind of vlog type things, or when I used to do the construction videos, for me, editing those are actually pretty quick because I only film really what I'm going to use. I don't really film a lot of extra stuff. So it is what it is. It's good or it's bad. I mean, it may suck, but it's what I did. And so I don't generally film a lot of extra stuff. So it's just like slaps a few things together, maybe cut a couple things, and I'm done. So it should go quick. Those news videos that I used to do, those take forever because you got to write a script.
That's kind of what I've been doing with the Spanish one. Right. So that takes a lot more time.
Those take a long time. Yeah. So you gotta write a script, and you got to go find all the images and all that kind of stuff. So a lot of people showing up in here late. Richard Greenberg. Just got into Miami, heading to Canesware tomorrow. Great, Richard.
Nice.
Mention FMTV, and you can get that discount. So that's awesome. All right. Thanks to you, Baldwin. Thanks. He's saying thanks. Fun to listen to. Hey, yeah. Thanks to everybody that's in the chat and that sticks with us. Thanks to everybody that watches after the fact. But I think those of you that are here with us throughout the entire show, appreciate that a lot. This is so much more fun with you all. So, thanks to everybody for hanging in with us and making this fun. So on that note, like Ed said, please like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you next week.